Lesson 5, preparing for scale. Preparing for scale. Manpower, multi-location, sales, promos, free shipping, seasonal package appearance, remote teams. This provides the greatest leverage. In short, this is what you will need as you scale. So you must consider your manpower. I can't scale if I'm the guy cutting the lawn. So I will require more workers to help me move to the next level. And I think a lot of people have an issue here because they want to control everything or they want all of the money. You are reducing your chances of success and rapid growth if you cannot move beyond yourself, meaning in which you don't have to wear all of the hats. There are other people who will be able to do the task just as good as you, or even better if you're really good at hiring. Multiple locations will assist you in scaling. But just be cognizant again of different rules, guidelines, and regulations per region or per state or municipality. Will your sales support your effort to scale? What are the taxes or the implications that you will be responsible for after you have sales? And again, you will also have to take into consideration your margins too. Will it make sense for me to try to scale? And then how do I attract people? Well, if you are moving into a new region, you may have a few ideas for promos. It could be something simple like free shipping if you're sending products through the mail. As per your website, try to reflect what's going on in the world. And what I mean by that is, I don't mean the news, but if it's Christmas time, hey, make your website look a little Christmassy, not unprofessional, not childish, but when you go to take your automobile in for an oil change at your dealership and you go on to their website for coupon, they usually, will have a picture of a stocking or something because they understand, hey, it's Christmas and we want to show that we're in the spirit as well. That's all. And your greatest asset is going to be your remote team. And that can include anyone from your virtual assistant to your developers or your engineers. If you are moving into software or something that includes a couple layers of technology, your remote team will be like your group of X-Men. Each one should bring something to the table unique. Now, while some skills will overlap, which is perfect, and this is just my take on it, you should still opt for individuals that have the ability to do different things. That way, when they do each one, they do it well, as opposed to, I know how to do it, but it's really not their primary skill set. You want to get the guys in whom they have focused for years on being able to become an expert and do something, and not just well, but quickly. The better the person is at it, usually the faster they can do it. That does not mean that it takes place overnight. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. Patience is a virtue, and I know that may sound, kind of hallmarkish and cheesy, but it's true. So take a breath, be prepared. Things will move fast, but it's usually when you let go and you're open to it taking a little bit longer than what you expect. And make sure that you have systems in place to handle the load when you do scale. Can you automate? Are you using AI? Are you using people, individuals that can process? Do you have high demand? And if so, you need to have systems in place to process high demand. And again, going into any new business, before getting fancy, I would probably suggest leveraging people. And then you could maybe plug in some form of AI, or if you have developed your own app, you can plug into an API, which gives you access to a whole nother world. I mean, like quite literally. So, but keep it simple first and then kind of build from there. Okay, so you have your systems in place, and the systems in place would also include, of course, your inventory and your supply chain. I've seen so many companies fall apart, not necessarily go out of business, but around the holidays, because things are just so stressed and so heavy, they may not have stateside the main products that are selling the fastest. And it's usually because they don't know. So if you can gain a modicum of control there, and I don't mean control like, you have to control everything, but in that particular case, in terms of your supply chain, you want to have as most, and I hate to use the word control, but you certainly want to be able to deliver to your customer on time, stress-free for your customer. Now, it's going to be stressful for you because you're looking to keep someone else happy. It's just the nature of the beast. But just make sure you have it together. And if you need to have goods stateside, do so ahead of time. Then move into the Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's season and absolutely crush it if you have it together. you will have hiccups. So just expect it. Do you have the manpower to help you when you have these hiccups, or to help you avoid them? And then also make sure that you have the proper resources to fulfill. Do you have access to fulfillment centers, delivery men? Are you within a network that allows you to gain access to materials faster, or do you have to outsource? And of course, your communication channels. Communication is key. And if you were to ask me about anything in business, what's the most important thing? Communication is going to be number one. And it's often overlooked for the simple fact that it's just something that we take for granted, but it will make or break the company. While you may not rely on a business plan, you will have to plan for each stage of growth. Now, a lot of you may have business plans and a lot of you may not, but if you do have one, it's going to change a lot. So do not allow that to keep you from keeping up with the changes. You don't have to do absolutely everything the way in which you thought you were going to do it, because it's not going to go that way. Some ideas you're going to have to abandon. Some ideas you're going to have to develop in the interim, and it's going to move rapidly. This is the part that does move fast. So when you got to change, you got to be ready to pivot like ASAP. So a $100,000 company is different than the days of, when you were just only generating 10K. So again, just make sure that you have everything in place to grow and to scale, because this will require more manpower and of course more efficient systems. Visibility channels and feedback loop to audience. So your audience or your customers will want to be able to access you. Make sure that you have this information readily available so that they can easily access you. And you want to inversely be able to access them. So you'll have a loop of sorts. So that way you will have the ability to consistently send out emails or drip campaigns or increase your AOV. So for instance, if you have just 1/3 of each of these, let's say third more repeat customers, and when I say more, like 1/3 of the current customer base purchases something else at par or greater than the original purchase price. And if you can increase, maybe through bundles or upsells, cross sells, what have you, the AOV by 1/3, in addition to adding on 1/3 of new customers. So if I currently have 100 customers, this month we now picked up 33 new customers, you could quite literally double your monthly revenues. So just keep that in mind. So collectively, these three aspects alone can double your previous month's revenue. Not unique to me. This is purely based off of your own numbers. So this is all fueled by the low cost power of email and automation. It won't cost you a fortune to get this done. And of course, you should have your team to assist you with keeping up with all these emails and responding, because while many emails are automated, a lot of your customers are going to have specific questions that they type in, and someone has to reciprocate with a proper answer, not just some pre-formatted email. So be mindful of that.